Saying yes when you really want to say no is a common experience. It can be difficult to stand up for ourselves and our boundaries, especially when we're afraid of disappointing someone else. But it's important to remember that our needs are just as important as anyone else's. Chasing someone who doesn't care about us is another common experience. We may feel like we're not good enough or that we need to prove ourselves to them. But it's important to remember that we deserve to be with someone who loves and respects us. Being stuck in the past can also be a challenge. We may be holding on to pain or regrets, and it can be difficult to let go and move on. But it's important to remember that the past is just that, the past. We can't change it, but we can learn from it and move forward. Over-explaining our truth to someone who stopped listening to us a long time ago is a waste of time and energy. If someone isn't willing to listen to us, then there's no point in trying to convince them. Apologizing to someone who owes us the apology is a common mistake. We may feel like we need to take responsibility for something that wasn't our fault, but it's important to remember that we deserve to be treated with respect. Jumping mountains for someone who cannot jump a puddle for us is a sign of low self-esteem. We may feel like we need to do everything we can to please someone else, even if it means sacrificing our own needs. But it's important to remember that we deserve to be with someone who is willing to put in as much effort as we do. Romanticizing the bare minimum is a common way to avoid dealing with our own pain. We may settle for someone who doesn't treat us well because we're afraid of being alone. But it's important to remember that we deserve to be with someone who loves and respects us. Ignoring our needs, our body, and our values is a recipe for disaster. When we don't take care of ourselves, we're more likely to end up in unhealthy relationships and situations. It's important to remember that we deserve to be treated with respect, and that includes taking care of ourselves. Staying quiet when someone disrespects us is a form of self-abandonment. We may feel like we need to keep the peace, but it's important to stand up for ourselves and our boundaries. When we don't, we're sending the message that we're okay with being treated poorly. Staying in a relationship that has already broken our trust is a mistake. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and without it, the relationship is doomed to fail. It's important to remember that we deserve to be with someone who we can trust. Prioritizing someone else over our own needs is a form of codependency. We may feel like we need to take care of someone else in order to feel good about ourselves, but it's important to remember that we deserve to take care of ourselves first. When we don't, we're setting ourselves up for failure. Wishing we were someone else is a common experience. We may feel like we're not good enough, or that we need to change who we are in order to be happy. But it's important to remember that we are perfect just the way we are. We deserve to love and accept ourselves for who we are.